Okay, so this is step 7, I think. So everything has been washed with Tamiya blue, everything's been based, and everything's dry and hard. So what I do now is I get some macragge blue and a bit of toilet paper with some soapy water sprayed on it, and I smear the paint on the bog paper, but I don't. It's not like dry brushing. It's not like wet brushing. And what I do is I drag the brush over the top third of each plate. Like I leave the dark part, which is ink stained at the bottom, like on the leg at the ankle. This would be from mid shin to the knee, and from mid thigh to the hip, and from mid waist all to the chest, and from mid shoulder pads all the way up to the centre bit. Now I drag all the paintbrush, when I paint, I drag the paintbrush upwards with each stroke if I can, so it it applies thicker as it goes on. Goes on lightly where the brush touches and then comes up thicker as you remove the brush. As you can see, it takes a long time. You really got to like go slowly with it, and this is one of the longest phases of doing it. It takes me about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on what I'm actually painting. These are fairly normal open-shouldered friggin' Marines, so yeah, it friggin' takes a bit of time. But yeah, the top 2/3 of every panel is done like this, and then after I've finished all of them like that, I'll go and I'll get some Thousand Suns blue. You can see it in the background there. It's a really light sort of cobalt blue, and I do the top third of each panel, and I use the same technique. I water it down, but it's not like a wash. It's still got the painty consistency, and it hasn't got like it's not overly thin. The brush is wet. If you drag the brush across the top of the surface, it leaves paint there. It's not like dry brushing. I don't know what you'd fucking call it, but yeah, I do that on the top third of each fucking panel. On the top of the top third of the shoulder pad, on the top third of the shin, on the top third of the thigh, and on the top third of the chest and backpack. And it leaves a sort of like multi-leveled layer, like dark Ultramarines blue with the Tamiya wash, macragge blue, and then the Thousand Suns blue, and it gives it a steepling highlight to the top of the model. Took me a while to figure out how to do this to make it actually look decent, and it's a fucking long haul, but yeah, it comes out all right. But always keep your paintbrush. This is really critical. You got to use that soapy water, otherwise you'll get that surface tension on your paint, and the pigment in the paint will bead toward where there's the most water, and you don't want that. So yeah, that's what I do with this one. So yeah, continue watching, and I'll put on some tunes for the next 4 or 5 minutes. Oh yeah, and one other thing. Once I've done the Thousand Suns blue, and I'm happy with the outcome, what I do is I take the Ultramarines blue contrast paint, and I give it a really good shake up, and I just run it in the heaviest of lines, you know, like the butt plate, in the armpits, around the greaves, and just it brings that shadow just down a little bit darker, even though it's already dark with the Tamiya panel liner. It's just an extra thing. Probably don't need to do it, but I just think it gives it a slightly better finishing touch. Anyway, yeah, fuck, on to the music.